In this module, you'll learn how to set document units and fully define a 2D sketch. Fusion 360 sketch tools allow you to create sketch profiles that drive the shape of solid, surface, and T-spline bodies. Before you start sketching, decide what units of measure you would like to design in. In the Fusion 360 browser, expand Document Settings. It's here you will find the active units for this design file. Click on Change Active Units, followed by selecting the desired units in the dialog. Notice that you can also make this the default unit for future designs. I'll set my unit type to millimeter, followed by the OK button. We're now ready to start the sketch. Notice there is currently no Sketch tab in the toolbar. To access the sketch tools, we first need to select the Create Sketch feature. To enter the sketching mode, you need to select a 2D face or plane. The easiest way to do this is to select one of the existing origin planes in the canvas. Consider the orientation of your sketch and how the part will rest. We'll sketch the side profile of a tea kettle. Thus, we can select the front or XZ origin plane. Notice the view automatically reorients to look normal to the sketch. You will also see that our sketch tools now appear in the toolbar. The Sketch tab is contextual and will only appear while you are in sketch mode. Sketch tools are organized in the toolbar by sections. This includes the Create tools that help you create new sketch profiles, modify sketch profiles, and sketch constraints which help restrict the movement of sketches. The Create dropdown includes the full list of sketch creation tools, while the toolbar showcases frequently used tools. Notice there are many pieces of geometry to help you start a sketch. I'll activate the Line tool to start sketching the profile of a tea kettle. The tea kettle is symmetrical, so we can sketch half of the shape and use the 3D Revolve command to turn it into a solid body. It's considered a best practice to start all sketches from the center origin point. This will help you fully define the sketch. Select the origin point and notice how the start of the line snaps into place. As you move your mouse cursor away from the origin, the line will extend and two different dimension inputs will appear. Let's first define the height of the tea kettle by drawing a vertical line equal to 180 millimeters by typing 180 on our keyboard. You don't need to type in the units. Fusion 360 uses the unit you set in the document settings. At any time, you can toggle between input fields by pressing the Tab key. You may need to tab to switch to the correct input. After typing 180, I'll press the Tab key to lock the dimension in place. Notice the gold lock icon. The lock means the sketch dimension will no longer change as you move your mouse cursor around. However, you can still update the dimension input by typing a new value. I'd like to snap the line to the vertical axes. Notice the icon that appears when I move the line closer to the axes. This icon represents the horizontal and vertical constraint, which constrains the geometry to a vertical or horizontal axis, whichever is closer. To place the line, we'll click on the canvas to snap the line vertically when the vertical icon appears. Notice the line command remains active until we activate a different tool or press the Escape key. I'll press the Escape key to clear the line command as I'd like to start another line from the origin. We can quickly reactivate a feature by right-clicking to access the marking menu. From here, we can select Repeat Line to reactivate the last active command. I also know the bottom width of the tea kettle, so I'll start this line from the center origin point, moving toward the right. Half the width of the tea kettle will be 75 millimeters. To ensure the bottom of the tea kettle is flat, we can click to snap the line in place when the right angle icon appears in the corner. This icon lets us know that we're drawing a line 90 degrees from the previous line. You may not always know the dimensions of your sketch geometry. Thus, you can click to place line segments without defining the length or degrees, and later add dimensions and/or sketch constraints. For example, let's create one line for the angled base, followed by a second line that runs vertically. Let's then create a third line that connects to the top of the center line. Press the Escape key to clear the line command. Notice how some of our sketch geometry is black while other line segments are blue. Black sketch geometry is fully defined and cannot move unless we change the dimensions or sketch constraints. Conversely, blue sketch geometry is under-constrained and can still move. Notice if I click and drag the blue lines, they'll move around. In parametric modeling, our goal is to fully define our sketches to ensure the design only updates when we change a dimension or constraint. This will help drive the model with design intent, making updates predictable and manageable. We'll need to work through the remainder of the sketch by dimensioning and constraining the blue lines. Before that, we'll need to toggle open the Sketches folder in the browser. This folder will list all sketches in our design. Let's rename sketches by selecting them, followed by clicking a second time. We can then type the desired name, such as Side Profile. Notice the sketch icon next to the name. In addition to blue geometry, the pencil icon represents a sketch that is not yet fully defined. Let's finish defining our sketch. We need to make sure the top of the tea kettle is flat so a lid can rest on the top. We can start the horizontal-vertical constraint in the toolbar and select the top line to force it to remain horizontal. Constraints define sketch geometry relationally, while dimensions define sketch geometry absolutely. Sketch dimensions can also be applied to geometry at any time throughout the sketching process. Activate the Sketch Dimension tool from the Create menu or with the keyboard shortcut letter D. You can apply dimensions to sketch entities or their endpoints. You can also select two entities to dimension the angle between them. For example, if I click the bottom line and the angled line and move my mouse cursor to the middle, you will see an angle dimension appears. Let's click to place the dimension, followed by typing the desired value. I'll make this angle 75 degrees and I'll press enter to save it. Notice we have one remaining line to define. When in doubt, you can click and drag geometry to check its degrees of freedom. In this case, we can define the top line or the angled line to fully define the sketch. I'll add a final dimension of 140 millimeters to the bottom angled line, being careful to place the dimension for the length of the line and not the vertical distance between endpoints. All of our sketch geometry now appears black and fully defined. Look for a red lock icon in the browser, which lets you know your sketch is fully defined. If the icon is not present, double check that all geometry in the sketch is constrained and dimensioned. Our sketch is now complete and can be turned into a three-dimensional body using solid modeling tools. Generally, only sketches that consist of closed profiles can be turned into solid bodies. Note that you can select Finish Sketch in the toolbar to exit the sketch mode. Alternatively, activating a solid modeling tool will automatically exit the sketch for you.